There's a game on the Dreamcast called Shenmue. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's considered to be like a classic. It's wonderful, but part of that game is you get a job, and in that job you're a forklift truck driver, and that's your job. And within the game you have to get up, you have to go to work, you have to like clock out, and then you carry on with the adventure of the game. But so a chunk of the game is working. And I remember playing the game, and just as I was sitting there, it was when I was living in the south, and I sort of sat in front of the TV playing the game, and I just remember suddenly just stopping and going, what am I doing? Not with the game, it's like, what am I doing with my life? Is this what I want to do? Like, do I want to get up every morning and do a 9-to-5 job like this? And just made me reflect on that moment in my life. It was quite strangely a profound moment, considering it was literally just a forklift truck driving thing.
I was talking to my granddad the other day about the media of the present and the media of the past, and we were talking about how people in my generation rarely experience things like radio and just like printed media like books, and I made the point to him saying, yeah, your generation will never experience games or a lot of your work because you don't understand it, you don't get into it. And my granddad said, oh, look, games are silly out there, it's just dumb stuff. And so like a thing the older generation don't realise is that games are a really like valid art form, and like they're not childish, they're actually an important thing in culture.
I'd say I learned how to read from playing the original Pokemon games because I was severely dyslexic, never really wanted to read either, I was a bit behind really, and playing Pokemon was like the one thing I wanted to do at the time, so I had a tutor, a really good one, and she decided that by putting all the Pokedex, all the Pokemon's names on the alphabet, that it helped me remember it, and overall it actually did help.
My friend, he was unemployed for about 3 years, and that was just down to his lack of self-confidence in interviews and on the phone and things like that. And we started doing one-to-one sessions, and you know, it didn't happen overnight, but over about a month, I would say, he came out of his shell, and he was more talkative. He didn't ask as many questions. He did what he wanted to do when we were role playing and things like that. And then he came home the other day. Well, not home, but he came online the other day and just said, "Guys, I got a job."
Gaming's changed my life because I used to be socially awkward as a kid, and I couldn't really like talk to people or just get along with people, but when I found gaming I was able to talk to people online, and not having to talk to them face to face just allowed me to overcome it. It's allowed me to interact with people better in real life and in gaming, so it's helped me.
There's this guy called Luke who comes to my house sometimes when we play on the PS3, and I win him at just everything, like really easy. Like we'll play like 100 games a day, and he'll win like 2 of them. And he always used to go, "Oh, if this was Street Fighter, I'd kick your ass. I'm sick of Street Fighter, mate. I've played loads of Street Fighter." So one day before he came to my house, I bought Street Fighter, and I was like, "Alright, let's play Street Fighter. This should be fun." And he was rubbish at that too, and he just couldn't beat me. So basically, he was a liar.
There have been moments where I'll be playing and I can just see myself playing a game for the rest of my life. As a kid, I just kind of went, I want to spend the next like 60 years of my life playing and being that cool parent, that cool grandparent who still plays games.
What draws me to gaming is the fact that I just can escape into a world and like forget about my problems in life. I can like drop down whatever I was doing and just escape into a world and just become someone else. Like I can just become a warrior or a mage or something.
A moment in that where, I don't know whether it's part of the main game, but I just stumbled upon it where it's very Monty Python-esque, but you stumble upon these sort of cultists, and it's all very comical. And they sort of like, so you can join our cult, and of course it's a game, so yeah, of course I'll join it, because I get a free cloak or something, that'd be really cool. And they said the only condition is you have to massacre this town, the game is giving you all, it sounds really weird, but the game gives you all these options. You go, yeah, I'll do that. I just went, yeah, I'll do that, thinking it will do a cutscene and then I'd be back in there and I'd say, I've done it. And it then actually took me to the village. And I was expected then to kill everyone in the village. And I remember just this weird feeling of, well, I can't do this. This is, it was a game and it was really comical. So this is really horrible, I don't want to do this. So I tried to leave. But the game wouldn't let you leave because that's what you were going to do. So I had to go through this village massacring people, and I didn't want to do it. And then at the end of that, every time I went back to the village in the game, like they would all just start attacking me because I'd killed them all off. It was very odd, but again, it sort of confronted me with like a moment where I just realised, wow, that I'm not comfortable with this. And it was a moment of self-reflection that I think was quite profound. Not that other mediums haven't done it, but I think games much more immediately have done it.
It's like going to another world. Like a game like Skyrim, for example. When I was in high school, I didn't have any friends at the time because I just lost one of my best friends, sadly. And basically, I'd go to Skyrim and I'd just play that and get in the world of that. It was just a much nicer place to be in, really. Even though it's full of the whole idea of the story is bandits and dragons and stuff, but it was just nicer than high school, that. And it would be nice. I could go to school and I could remember Skyrim when I'm at school and go, I can get home and I can play it again.
I think games can allow people to live experiences that otherwise they couldn't as well. There's a lot of real interesting, as I said before, indie stuff, independent stuff. There's games about depression, which allow people who don't really understand depression to kind of understand depression. And there's games about women and females that allow guys to kind of get into that headspace. There's games about shooting people up and letting out that side of yourself, which I think it's demonized a lot in the media, but I think it can be a positive thing as a way to just sit down, shoot a few heads off, and then move on. A normal right-minded person isn't going to go out and shoot a bunch of heads off, in my opinion. But it is a release for many people just to do that.
Playing the sort of sports games that I play, especially the rugby sort of games, it's taught me like a sense of game management whilst I'm playing rugby, in a way to it's a way to manage not just myself but manage the game in general. So it's given me a better understanding of what's happening. It's also taught me a lot of rules about the game and also about the sport. So it's teaching me as well as it is fun. When I was in holiday in Tenerife, I brought my Wii with me and I had Super Smash Bros. And me and my dad would play Super Smash Bros. Together. And basically, he was really drunk one night and he was saying, "Oh, I bet you £1 I'll win this match. Oh, I'll bet you €1 I'll win this match. Bet you €2 I'll win this one." And I was like 10, so €1 was a big deal. And I ended up getting about €60 off my dad because I kept winning him over and over again. And that was fun.
I have played rubbish games with good people online and enjoyed the experience. I've played Skype bingo until 3 o'clock in the morning with people just to hang out with these guys and chat to them. It's not necessarily the game. It can be the game. A good game can make boring people interesting, but generally it's the other way around.
A couple of summers ago, in the summer holidays, I bonded with my brother a lot because we bought a PS2 and a load of cheap PS2 games, and we'd just play through all the games together and share fun moments together. It'd be a good time.
I wasn't really popular in high school, so what I would do if when I get home, obviously I didn't really have people to talk to, except online friends. So I go on World of Warcraft usually, and just start playing that with the people that I know online, so my rated guild, and then just other friends that I met through World of Warcraft.
Gaming could help someone just become better at interacting with people, talking. It gives people just a thing to do. It's some people don't really go outside, so they might miss out on childhood friends that they might never forget about. And if gaming just helps them to interact with people, get to know people better, have the experience with each other that they never would have beforehand.
a lot of media comes out of video games, like there's a lot of video game reviews and just videos about video games, like on the internet, and I've watched quite a few of them, and I really enjoy them, and they've inspired me to actually do media in college, and so without video games I don't know where I'd be now, and I don't know what I'd be taking in college.
At the time, he was suffering through a couple of mental issues, mainly anxiety, and one way to get him off, he'd come to me and get it off his chest and just playing games. And I think it was just more comfortable and made the atmosphere much better just playing Halo, because we were more engrossed in the world and not real life.
One of my best memories of gaming is when I used to play with a guy called Andrew. Like we used to go in Halo custom games. We used to like all play random like game modes we created, and Andrew he used to get really angry. So like I always used to laugh at him when he get angry. So he just kept getting angry as I laughed, and as we just kept killing each other, it was just a great time, and we both laugh about it now.
You can make mistakes, or you can hurt yourself, but in the game, but you're okay, and you can level up and get better, and you know how the system works because it never changes. And I think that to anyone who maybe struggles, that's much more appealing, isn't it, than waking up in the morning and looking out the window and just thinking, Christ, the universe is chaotic and I don't understand it. Logging into a game and knowing that there's a progress bar in it, I've got X amount of XP to get, and I'll get a skill, and I have this, that, and it's much more measurable and so much more controllable. I think that is a real appealing thing for some people.